This story is the most terrifying truth from the life of my grandfather, Kishanlal Sharma. It took place in 1962 in Sarisa village of Balia district, Uttar Pradesh, when he was working as a school teacher. At the time, my grandfather was only 24 years old, a fearless man with unshakable faith in God. He believed that ghosts and spirits were nothing more than superstition. But the abandoned, cursed mansion near the school changed his beliefs forever. It was widely believed in the village that the restless spirit of a woman named Kusum haunted that mansion. Nearly 100 years earlier, she had been burned alive, and since then, her soul was said to wander the place, screaming in the darkness and preying on humans. One evening, my grandfather stayed late at school to check exam papers. When night fell, he began cycling home, taking the path that passed by the deserted mansion. As he crossed it, he saw something horrifying for the first time. A dreadful shadow staring out from one of the mansion's windows. The face was covered in deep wrinkles, and its eyes burned like glowing embers. The sight made his bones tremble. But the real terror began when that shadow followed him home. In the dead of night, he started sensing a foul stench of rotting flesh. He heard eerie laughter near his bed, and outside his window a long floating shadow would appear in the air. Sleep became impossible, and fear slowly consumed him. Finally, the village priest, Pandit Rambabu, gave him a protective amulet blessed with sacred mantras. For a while, this brought some relief, but fate had not finished testing him. One stormy night, heavy rain trapped my grandfather at the school itself. That night, the witch attacked him directly. In the beam of his torchlight, he saw a horrifying figure. A woman with her face completely twisted backward and eyes soaked in blood. She clawed at the staff room door with her nails, screaming in a chilling voice, "Save me, I am burning!" The amulet saved his life that night. But the next morning, something even more terrifying awaited him. Written on the wall in blood were the words, "He belongs to me, I will return." Pandit Rambabu then sent my grandfather to an old man named Bholaram Kaka, who revealed the tragic truth behind Kusum's curse. She had been an innocent girl falsely accused by a cruel landlord. The villagers, blinded by fear and lies, declared her a witch and burned her alive inside the mansion. As she died in agony, she cursed the entire village. There was only one way left to end her torment. My grandfather had to enter the dark basement of the mansion, where Kusum's ashes still lay, and chant the Mahamrityunjaya mantra and the mantra of liberation. The priest warned him that the protective amulet would work for only 3 hours. Within that limited time, he would have to confront the vengeful spirit. On a moonlit night, with trembling steps, my grandfather entered the mansion. Blood-stained walls seemed to close in on him, and terrifying screams echoed from every direction. Kusum's spirit appeared before him and launched a deadly attack. Gathering every ounce of courage, my grandfather held a rudraksha in his hand and began chanting the sacred mantras. As he recited the final mantra of liberation and placed the Shiva mantra yantra upon the pile of ashes, a deafening explosion shook the mansion. Flames rose violently, and the monstrous shadow was swallowed forever into a raging vortex. By morning, my grandfather returned home alive. Yet Pandit Rambabu made one thing clear. Although Kishanlal had freed himself from the witch's grasp, the curse of that mansion would never truly end. Even today, when we hear this story, it reminds us that beyond science and logic lies a world that tests human courage and faith. And my grandfather's bravery still sends chills down our spines.